All right, guys, so we are reviewing for our Chapter 1 test, which is all next week. So if you are A students, or on the A schedule, which is A through L, you will be taking your test on Monday and Tuesday, and then the B students will be taking their tests on Thursday and Friday. You will have activities to do if you are on Zoom. So this is for Thursday and Friday of this week, and please, before you do this or before you watch this video, actually do the questions so that you can actually get practice for this, okay? So name the segments in the figure below. We are looking for, they actually give us, answers here. Segments mean that it has two endpoints, so it has to have a point and a point, two endpoints. So BC would work, BD would work, CD would work. AE would not work because there is no point E on the line. Line segment AD would also work. K, option K, is giving us BC, line BC. So that won't work because it is actually a line. And we're asking for segments. So line segment AC would work, line segment AB would work, ray CB, no, it's not a segment, ray DA, ray BC, ray AD, those three would not work because we are talking about segments, not rays. Option L would not work because we don't have the point E on our line, and line AD would also not work. Number 2, use the figure to determine the intersection of planes E, F, G. So here is E, F, G. It's this whole plane here. And D, C, G. So this plane here. So look at where those two overlap, or where do they meet? They meet in a line right here. Planes always meet in lines, so they intersect in line GH or line HG, however you would write that. Number 3, name two planes that intersect on line QR in the figure to the right. So first of all, I'm going to find QR. So QR is right here. Okay, so your two planes have to intersect there. So this plane shares that line, and it shares that line with this plane back here. So the two planes then would be, okay, plane RSW and plane RVU, that one wouldn't work. Plane QTS and plane RVU would work. B is your answer there. Okay, so name two other ways to name angle X. So angle X is here, okay? We can name this angle by using the points, so SUD, and we could do it the other way, angle DUS, or we could just use the vertex, which would be angle U. Okay, so number 5, find the measure of angle IHM if the measure of IHG is 21x plus 4 and the measure of IHM is 5x plus 10 and the measure of MHG is 106. Okay, so MHG is 106 degrees. IHG is, oh, that's not what I wanted. We are looking to find, sorry guys, this measure here, okay? We know that the whole entire thing, IHG, is 21x plus 4. And we know that IHM is 5x plus 10. So we can take our two angle measures for the pieces. So 106 plus 5x plus 10, we know those two added together equal the whole thing of 21x plus 4. So then we need to combine like terms. So we'd have 5x plus 116 equals 21x plus 4. I am going to subtract 5x from both sides, and I'm also going to subtract 4 from both sides. So the x's cancel here, and you end up with 112. The 4's cancel here, and you end up with 21 minus 5. Let me get a calculator here quick for my division. 21 minus 5 is 16x. And then I need to divide both sides by 16. 112 divided by 16 is 7. So x equals 7. They are asking me to find the measure of IHM. You guys need to make sure that you're reading your directions. Because I only found x, I need to find the measure of IHM, which they give me the variable or the expression there. So I'm going to plug in 7, so 5 times 7 plus 10. 5 times 7 is 35, and 35 plus 10, not 40, is 45. So the measure of angle IHM equals 45 degrees. On the test, if you don't read the directions and you only give me what x equals, you're only going to get partial credit there. For number 6, A, B, and C are collinear. Point B is between A and C. So I'm going to draw a picture here first. So A, B, and C. BC, well, first of all, we're finding BC. AB, we're finding the measure of BC, okay? AB is 2x minus 3. AC, the whole thing, is 23. And BC is x plus 5. So because we're finding the measure, we want to find the actual number. So we know that the whole thing is 23, and if we add the pieces, AB plus BC, which is x plus 5, it will equal 23. So then you combine like terms, so 3x, 2x and x is 3x, negative 3 and positive 5 is a positive 2. And then I'd want to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get 3x equals 21, and then divide both sides by 3, so I get x equals 7. Now, it didn't just ask us to find x. We need to find what BC equals. BC is x, which is 7, plus 5, and BC is 12. And that is all you had to find there. Okay, so number 7. This is ray. On the test, we will be very careful as to what actually, yes, it is a ray. It has to be a ray. It's a ray. We will give you more of an exact ray on top of that, those points. So KM bisects angle KJL. So I'm going to draw a picture here. I have J, K, and L. And then it's saying KM. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. KM. Sorry guys, this is not perfect by any means. KM bisects. When we see that word bisects, that means that these two angles are congruent because a angle bisector splits the angle into two equal sections. So the measure of JKM is 3x plus 15, and the measure of angle MKL is 5x minus 13. If we know that they are congruent to each other, that means that they equal each other. It is asking us to find the measure of angle JKL, which is the whole entire angle. So, first of all, we need to find out what does x equal. And because these are congruent, that means that they equal each other. We need to set these equal to each other to find x first. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. I get 15 equals 2x minus 13. Add 13 to both sides, and I get 28 equals 2x. Divide by 2, x equals 14. Now that you know what x is, you can plug it into one of the angles. So I'm just going to plug it into JKM, so 3 times 14 plus 15. 3 times 14 is 42, and 42 plus 15 is 57 degrees. Now, if this is 57 degrees here, they are congruent. That means that they are the same. They equal each other. So we have 57 and 57. To find the measure of the whole entire angle, angle JKL, we do 57 plus 57, which is 114 degrees. Okay, moving on to number 8. So, looking at this picture, we know that this signifies 90 degrees. So if we know one piece of our angle and we have x's for the other, but we know the whole entire angle equals 90, we can just do some simple addition here and then solving for x. So I'm going to combine the 39 and the 3. I get 6x equals 6x doesn't equal yet. 6x plus 42 equals 90. I want to subtract 42 from both sides. 6x equals, we need an 8 there, and that would be a 48 degrees. Or not yet, because I didn't solve completely yet. Then we need to divide by 6. So x actually equals 8. Make sure you are not doing more work than you need to be doing. Line 1 or L bisects the segment AB. So that means that this piece is congruent to this piece here. If AO is 10y minus 5 and OB is 7y plus 28, find AO, which is the small piece here. Okay, so we know that each piece is congruent to each other, so that means that we can set them equal to each other to find our y, because without our y, we're not going to be able to find a number or the measure. So I am going to subtract 7y from both sides. I get 3y minus 5 equals 28. And I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I have 3y equals 33. Then you'll divide by 3. So y is 11. Now you're not done yet. We need to find AO. So AO is 10, or AO equals 10y, which is 11, minus 5. AO, the measure of AO, 10 times 11 is 110, and 110 minus 5 is 105. And that is the distance of AO. Number 10, the following two angles are supplementary. So if they are supplementary, that means that they add up to 180 degrees. The measure of angle 1 is A plus 7, and the measure of angle 2 is 5A minus 1. They are asking us to find the measure of 2. So we know angle 1 plus angle 2 has to equal 180 degrees. You need to add up your A's, so 6A. Add up your constants, so positive 6 equals 180. you would subtract 6 from both sides. You get 6a equals 174. And then 174 divided by 6 is 29. So a equals 29. Again, you're not done there yet. We need to plug it in for a right here to find our answer. The measure of angle 2 is 5 times 29 minus 1. 5 times 29 is 145, and 145 minus 1 is 144 degrees for angle 2. The angle of RST and angle TSU form a linear pair. So it's easiest to draw a picture. We know that because S is in the middle of both of those, that has to be the vertex. Oh my goodness. S. And a linear pair forms 180 degrees. So we would have RST. Wow, didn't want to do that. Hold on, guys. RST and TSU. So RST is x plus 8 and TSU is 5x plus 4. Again, we know the whole thing here is 180 degrees. It's asking us to find the measure of this angle here. So what we need to do first is figure out what x equals. So x plus 8 plus 5x plus 4 equals 180 degrees. I'm going to combine like terms, so I get 6x, and then plus 12 equals 180. Then you'd want to subtract 12 from both sides. You would get 6x equals, that'd be an 8, that'd be a 6, that'd be a 1, and then divided by 6. So 168 divided by 6 is 28. Okay, so we found what x equals. Now we need to find what the measure of angle RST equals. All we're doing is plugging 28 in for x and adding 8. So our answer would be 8 plus 8 is 16. That would be 36 degrees. Make sure you have that little degree sign there. M is the midpoint of segment AB. Okay, so we have A. Why does it do this to me? We have, oh my goodness, A and B. Okay, M is the midpoint. A midpoint is always in the middle. So if it is a midpoint, that means this is congruent to that. Okay? So that being said, AM is 14K minus 2, and MB is 10K plus 30. If they are congruent, and the only question that it's asking us is to find K, we just need to set the two segments equal to each other. So I'm going to subtract 10K from both sides, and I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Doing a little bit of the same thing here. 14K minus 10K is 4K. 30 plus 2 is 32. And then divide by 4 on both sides. K is 8. And that is all you have to do. You don't have to plug it back in. You need to make sure that you are reading all the directions here, guys, because sometimes you're going to not do enough and sometimes you're going to do too much. Number 13 is to find the midpoint of the line segment. So we need to figure out where is this point at and where is this point at, and then we're going to use our x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Okay? So this point here would be at -4, +2. This point here would be at +4, -4. So you would do x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to add the x's together, so -4 plus 4 over 2. going to add the y's together. 2 plus negative 4 over 2. And you need the parentheses because it is a point. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0 over 2. 2 plus negative 4 is a negative 2 over 2. 0 divided by anything is always 0. Negative 2 divided by 2 is a negative 1. So you can easily see it on here too. Your midpoint is right there. Okay, 0, negative 1. Number 14 and 15, we are finding the distance. And the distance formula, okay, is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. I had someone ask me, well, on the 1.7 homework check, they had it written wrong. It's not wrong. The only thing that you guys need to remember is that if you decide to do your y1s first, or your x1s first in this one, you have to use the same format here. You can't say, you know, x1 minus x2 for the first part, and then switch it up and do y2 minus y1, because that will throw off your answer. So either way, you could do, you know, your x2s and your y2s first, or you could do your x1s and your y1s first. It does not matter. Okay, so I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have distance equals negative 5, and remember we need parentheses here. Negative 5 minus 5 plus 6 minus 4 squared. Negative 5 minus 5, negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10 squared plus 6 minus 4 is 2 squared. Negative 10 squared, whenever you're doing a negative times a negative, you get a positive. So it's positive 100 plus 4. 100 plus 4 is 104, and remember you need to put it into your calculator here. The square root of 104 is 10.2. For number 15, you guys have to do your points first. So 1 point is at negative 1, negative 1. The other point is at 4, negative 5. So I'm going to plug it into my formula. Let's do a different color here. This would be x1, y1. This would be x2, y2. So distance equals x2, which is 4 minus a negative 1 squared, plus negative 5 minus a negative 1 squared. Okay, so 4 plus a minus a negative turns into plus a positive. So we have 5 squared plus minus a negative 1 turns into plus a positive. So we'd have negative 4 squared. 5 squared is 25, and negative 4 squared, negative times a negative is a positive. If you do 25 plus 16, you get the square root of 41. And obviously that's not going to be a nice number because it's not a perfect square, but the square root of 41 is 6.4. And that is your answer there. If you guys have any questions on anything, let me know. If you need some more, help on some of this material, hop on Kahoot or go on to Quizlet or use some Khan Academy and try and do a good job on this first test. Okay? Have a good weekend, guys, and I will see you next week.